Hello everybody. Today I am making a video because I see a lot of other artists making videos like this. So I wanted to make one of my own. Also, sorry if y'all hear my sister talking in the background. She's playing VR in our room and I'm making a video in here at the same time. So, yeah. Um but I see a lot of other artists have made videos about this. So I want to make a video and I am doing this drawing in real time because I find it easier to draw and talk rather than draw the video, do a time lapse, and then do a voiceover. So yeah. So I am doing my worst commission stories. I actually have three, and they're gonna be kind of long. So yeah, get ready. So my first story, started off a few years ago. I got a message on Fiverr, which is where I do most of my art, well, most of my commissions. And this dude, he comes and messages me. He's like, "Hey, can you finish this animation? It is for a school project." I was like, "Okay." So I take a look at it, and there is already 3 seconds of the animation finished. And I was like, "Oh, well, I don't do other people's styles, but I guess I'll finish this because he said this needs to be done by a certain day." So I accept the job, even though I don't do other people's styles. So, even though y'all are watching this right now and I'm totally doing somebody else's style, but I don't do other people's styles for commissions. So, yeah. Um uh so I am I am working on this commission, and it's like a minute long, and but like 3 or 4 seconds are already animated. And so I do all my animations in Flip a Clip, let me remind you. So when you import the video, it all smushes into one layer. It doesn't change all the layers, like the background layer and the sketch layer and the line art and the color. No. When you import a video, it goes all into one layer. So I'm working on this animation, and this dude is like, "No, change this, change that. This needs to be changed. This needs to be changed." And I'm like, "Okay, listen, dude, it's a little hard for me because, well, I'm doing it in somebody else's style, so I don't know much." So, after a really long time of working and this dude constantly criticizing me, I finally finish it, and I turn it in. And he's like, "Hey, can you animate the background?" And then I message him saying, "Hey dude, since you sent me an already partially animated animation, I can't change the background because they all got smushed into one layer, yada yada yada." He's like, "Well, why not?" I'm like, "Did you not just read what I said? Like, I can't." He's like, "Well, can't you undo it?" I'm like, "Huh?" So I'm just sitting there. I'm like, "Listen, dude, I can't. I can't." And so he's like, "Okay, fine. Well, then can you send me the PSD file or whatever, the Adobe Animate file or whatever?" I'm like, Sir, I told you I animate with Flip-a-Clip. Flip-a-Clip does not allow you to export the file. So you can't like share it. You can only export it as a GIF or a MP4 or a PNG sequence. You cannot export the project. So I'm sitting there, and he's sitting there, and we're like arguing back and forth, like, "I can't do it." He's like, "Yes, you can. You're lying to me." And I'm like, "What the heck?" And then I tell him, "Look, dude, it's done. It's finished, and you just need to send me the money." And he's like, "Well, I'll get my friend to pay for it. This dude contacts me. He's like, "Hey, could you send me the finished animation and then I'll send you the money because like I don't have the money right now. This dude is supposed to send me the money." I'm like, "Um, if the dude's going to get the money, then he should send it directly to me, not send it to you and then you send it to me. Like that's a little sketchy." And so I tell this dude, "Hey, listen, I can't do that. That's against Fiverr's terms of service. And like, I just, it seems a little bit sketchy. And I think this guy is like scamming both of us." And so I tell this dude, "Hey, listen, your friend didn't send me the money after he said he would send me the money and blah, 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 blah." And like, it was a whole mess. And this dude's like, "Well, um could you like lower the price or something because I don't have that much money and it doesn't even look like the art style anyways. You messed it up so bad." I was like, "Listen, dude, I already gave you a discount cuz when I first did this commission, this dude asked for a discount immediately, which was a red flag because he said he was a student, he didn't have the money to." And I was like, "What the heck?" But I gave him the discount anyways because I was young and stupid. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, "Dude, I can't give you another discount and I'm sorry if it's not perfect because I don't do other people's styles and because I just, you know, can't really draw in other people's styles." And so he's like, well, he just starts throwing a fit. And my mother, she's like, He's saying it's so bad, but you know what, let me look at it." So my mom sat there and watched the animation I did, which, not gonna lie, was pretty cringy. I'm not gonna tell y'all what it was about because then y'all might find this dude, but it was really cringy kind of because of the sound. But like, my mother's like, "Wait, what part of the animation did you start animating at?" And so we restarted the video and I pointed out where I started and she's like, "How did you do that? The art style looks exactly the same." I was like, "What? I thought it didn't look very good." And she's like, "No, it's like it's perfect. It matches." I was just sitting there like, "Wait, what?" And so I tell this dude, "Hey, listen, like, listen, um, you need to pay me for what I did and just like get on with it." And he's like, "No, I don't want to pay you, blah, 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 blah." And I'm like, "Dude." And then he's trying to persist to give him a discount again. And I'm sitting there like, "Dude, please, just pay me the $3 because this is back then when I only did $5 for my animation." And he made me lower it to $3. And I was sitting there like, "Dude, just pay me the $3." And he's like, "No, no, 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 no." And then he starts, okay, get this. Some of y'all may or may not know that I myself am a religious person. I am a Christian, and so yeah, this dude starts roping our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ into this argument, saying like, "Oh, God wants you to do this, blah 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 blah. Oh, if you don't do this, blah 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 blah." I'm just sitting there like, sir, why are you using my religion against me, sir? Like, what? Like, God does not want me to give you a free animation, sir. I mean, God does tell us to, like, love everybody and be kind, but he doesn't. Did he specifically, like, tell you to let me give you a free animation or something? Did I miss something? But, like, after, like, he keeps persisting and I keep, like, not budging about the price, he finally pays and he is off. And he's like, "Oh, this is, oh, I'm gonna get an F. This is all your fault. Oh, I hate you. This is gonna ruin my reputation. This is gonna ruin my career. And I'm like, listen, dude, if you're in an animation school or something and you're trying to get an A for animation and you're so scared of getting an F, why don't you do the animation yourself? Like, isn't that the point of animation school? And yeah, I never heard from that guy ever again. So, and now for my next story. Um, I got a message in I think it was last year, 2022. I mean 2021, sorry. Around Christmas time. Let me tell you. Around Christmas time. And I'm okay, so at this time I was at church helping babysit some kids while the parents were doing a little sit down in the sanctuary, like doing a thing, like okay. And so we're sitting there and my mother comes into the nursery because they're having a little break from the lesson, and my mother comes in there and she's like, "Hey, you got a message on Fiverr." I was like, "Oh, cool. Okay." So I check the message, I say hello, do all the greetings, like, "Hey, how would you like your commission? What do you want? Bust up, half body, and stuff like that." And they're like, "Oh, I want a bust up of me and my boyfriend." I was like, "Okay, that's cool." And he's like, she was like, it's like a Christmas present or something. I don't know. But she said it was a present for her boyfriend. And so I'm sitting there like, oh, that's cool. That's nice. So, as soon as I get home, I'll do your commission. And she's like, "Okay." Um, and I was like, "Okay, that'll be $5, I think is what I said." Let me tell you, fully shaded, fully shaded, half body commission. Two people, fully shaded, fully shaded for $5. For $5, okay? And so I'm sitting there and I can't wait to get home so I can finish this. We do eventually get home and I start working on the commission. And I finish it a few hours later and I go and I contact her. I'm like, and I slapped a big watermark because for anti-theft purposes I slap a huge, and I mean huge, amount of watermarks on my drawing so nobody steals it. I contact this girl. I'm like, "Hey, I finished your commission. Whenever you're ready, send the money, and then I'll send you the unwatermarked piece, except I'll keep my signature." Okay, look, I put my signature over in this corner, and I do not remove it. And I will, like, put signatures all over the screen like this, so that way people don't steal it. And I told her, "Hey, when you pay, I'll remove all the extra watermarks and I'll keep the one watermark." So, yeah. And she says, "Okay, I'll pay you tomorrow." Tomorrow comes and she still hasn't paid me. So I was like, "Hey, um, do you plan on paying me today?" She's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I don't have the money. I'll pay you next week when I get paid." I was like, "Okay." 2 or 3, I don't know, like a few weeks pass and I'm like, "Hey, lady, you haven't paid me. Could you, like, pay me, please?" And she's like, "No, no, no, no. I'm sorry. I will pay you as soon as I can." And so I'm sitting there waiting and then I completely forget about it. Completely. And also, let me remind y'all, this is my old art style and my art style has changed since then. So, yeah. um This girl contacts me a few months later. And she's like, "I am so sorry. I'm so sorry. I haven't paid you yet. I promise I will pay you this week. I promise I will pay you." I was like, "Okay, that's cool." A few months later, she contacts me again and goes, "I am so sorry I have not paid you yet. I will pay you soon. I promise. I mean it this time. I will pay you." I'm sitting there like, "Okay, okay, I trust you." It is now what? August? September. It's September of 2022. It has almost been an entire year since I have done that commission. It is literally, let's see, September, October, 3 months away from being 1 whole year since she has paid for the commission. She has not messaged me for months. And yes, anyways, I'm getting to that. Anyways, so um I've kind of given up all hope on her ever paying me now. Um yeah, I don't really care anymore because my art style has changed, and yeah, even though I'm extremely proud of that commission and it's really really cute, I genuinely don't believe she is ever going to pay me, like ever. So, yeah, on to my last story. And this one is the commission that broke me. The commission that made me change my art style to the one y'all know today. Okay, so a few months ago, I got a message on Fiverr asking for a commission. And I answered this person back and I said I'd take the commission. And this person asked me what my art style looked like. I send him multiple, and I mean multiple, well, not multiple, but I send him a reference of my art style. And I say, this is my art style. And he is like, oh, it's perfect. I love it. It's so cute. It is so adorable. I love it. It's like it's literally the perfect aesthetic for my commission. I was like, oh, that's so cool. Okay. So, um, he wanted me to draw a cast of characters from a TV show that I've never seen before, um, called Euphoria. And so I had to look it up. I literally had to research it in order to work on that commission, and don't ever Google that show. If you're innocent, don't ever Google that show because, like, literally the first things you will see are like naked people and stuff like that. And so I'm sitting there like, oh no. And so this dude wanted to buy ref sheets and an animation. And he didn't specify he wanted the ref sheets until I started. And he's like, hey, I want ref sheets of the characters too. I was like, okay, all right. There were like 16 characters, maybe? I don't know. But it was the whole main cast of Euphoria. I don't remember how many of them there are. But I was sitting there and I felt so conflicted. I was like, okay, do I charge him for the references or not? And I decided, you know what? I won't charge him for the references. And so I don't think I did. And the first character I had to start with was Zendaya, who was Rue in the show. So I'm sitting there and I finished the reference in my style. My style. And he goes, well, I don't like it. Can you change this, and that about her? And I was like, okay. So I slightly change it. I did all the changes he wanted. He's like, it still doesn't look like her. Make her thinner. So I make her thinner and thinner, and he keeps criticizing me, telling me it needed to get thinner and thinner and thinner until her arms and legs were literal twigs. And get this. Before I did that, I was so tired of it. I was so done. I took a picture of Zendaya off of Google, put her into Medibank, and traced Zendaya's literal body. And this dude still told me she was not thin enough. So I'm sitting there so confused. And I was like, okay. So I made her as thin as possible. And That hurt my soul because he wanted all of the girls, all of them, as thin as possible. And a lot of y'all who watch my channel may not already know that I love to draw thick women. Thick women, big hips, big chest, thick women. That is my style. Thick women. So I was dying inside. My soul was hurting the whole commission. So I'm sitting there and I finish it. And I decided to send in two characters at once. I sent Zendaya and the other character, I forget who she is, but she's like I think she's mostly known for wearing that angel costume. How yeah, Jules. Thank you, my sister, for telling me who Jules is. Anyways, I'm sitting there, and I'm sitting there. I send both of them, and he only comments about Zendaya, just Zendaya. So I came to a realization: this guy is absolutely creepily obsessed with Zendaya, and I was sitting there and I just dumbfounded, like, what? He didn't say a single thing about Jules. And, so, sorry. Anyways, um, I finish all the other characters, and he does not like them. He makes me completely redraw all of them. Oh, I forgot to mention, when I was drawing Rue, aka Zendaya, he asked me, and I have this in my thing, that I do not draw realism. He said, "You know what? I hate your art style. I don't like it at all. Can you draw realism?" And I said, "Dude, listen. I literally have it in my bio. I do not do realism. I told you from the start, I do not do realism." And so he's like, "Ugh, fine." And so I drew all the characters, and my tactic for drawing all the characters was to literally trace their real bodies. So I sat there and I traced everybody. I took a picture of that actor or actress off the internet, traced them, and like stylized it to look like my style. And he hated all of them. And so he made me redraw all of them. I have like 5 or 6 redraws of each and every character. And let me remind y'all, there are like 6 to like there are like 6 or like 11 characters. And I had to redraw each and every character 3 or 5 times. And I think the worst one was, I took an actress, I don't remember what her name was, but she's a beautiful actress, extremely gorgeous. And she is a little more on the chubby side. And I thought that was very beautiful. I was so excited because I'd get to draw a chubby girl. And I took a I took a real life picture of this actress, and I traced her, like literally traced her curve for curve. And he was offended and said she was not fat enough and I needed to make her even fatter. I was like, "Okay, listen, dude. She she she's perfect how she is. Like, why? Apparently she's not fat enough? What? Okay. Um so I made her a little chubbier, and he's like, "It's still not good enough." So I kept making her chubbier until he was satisfied, and I felt so wrong for doing that. Like, I felt so bad because, like, I felt like I was, like, making her seem worse or something. Like, I felt so bad because I wanted to draw her exactly how she was. And he said I wasn't making her fat enough. So, he had me redraw every single character over and over again until he was satisfied. I put that in quotation marks because he was still not happy with how they turned out. And so I was actually like to the point of crying working on this project until I finally finished all the refs and I started working on the animation. I asked him what he wanted, how he wanted it, and I made sure I did it exactly. It did everything he wanted me to, like, did the different scenes, all this and that, and I sent in the animation. He hated it. He hated it. And he was so mad. He did not like it at all. And he said, I did a terrible job. Oh, this, and that. You better give me a discount because it's so terrible. You don't deserve money. You don't deserve any of this. You're such a terrible artist. And I'm sitting there like, what? What do you mean? Like, I did exactly what you wanted me to. And he's like, no, 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 you're such a horrible artist. You did nothing right. You did everything horribly. You're such a terrible artist. And I deserve a discount because you scammed me. I was like, dude, I told you from the start I don't do realism. This is my specific style. You were pushing me out of my comfort zone. You were forcing me to draw in a different art style than I was comfortable with. And you were making me change actual people from how they actually looked because you thought that they weren't perfect in your eyes. And I was it makes me so mad. And I said, dude, listen, I spent weeks on this animation and I am not going to deal with you like trying to get a discount because, oh, well, I did this, and that wrong, even though I didn't. And he's like, oh, you took too long on the animation, even though you said it would be time consuming because you have to do this, and that. I hate you. And I'm like, oh my gosh, just shut up. Just pay me and leave me alone. And so he paid me, and I think he may have left a bad review. I don't remember. But, oh, right, I remember. I sent in the animation. And then he didn't want to pay me personally. So he waited. Fiverr has a time limit to where if you don't pay the artist within a certain amount of time, Fiverr will make you automatically pay. Like, they'll force you to pay. And so he did not want to pay. He refused to pay. So Fiverr forced him to pay. And it forced him to leave a review. And his review was like, "Oh, she did so great," because it was an automated review from Fiverr. He was so mad with my commission that he didn't even want to pay or leave a review at all. Not even a negative review. That's how mad he was at me. And I don't know if I will ever post the commission or like, but I do have a few pictures of it posted up. Um but yeah, and the next day, I was sitting there staring at my art, wondering to myself, is my art really even that good? Like, do I even deserve to be paid on Fiverr for my art? Like, my art is so terrible. I mean, look at the eyes, look at the face, look at everything. And I like broke down in tears. I felt so horrible about my art. I didn't like it anymore. I hated it. And then the next thing I knew, I was changing my art style once again. I was changing the eyes, I was changing a few things here and there, and soon enough, I soon grow like I now have the art style that I post everywhere on my Instagram, on my YouTube, on on TikTok, and so yeah. Um uh I think that is all of my terrible art art experiences so far. My terrible commission experiences so far. Um short one is like I make it very clear I am not an NSFW artist. I have it written down everywhere. I have it like plastered all over my Fiverr. Like I don't do NSFW, and I have had so many people, and this is especially when I was a minor. So I've had a whole bunch of people come to my Fiverr account and go, "Hi, I want a commission." I was like, "Oh, sure, I'm willing to do a commission. Can you draw people doing the dirties?" I'm like, can and they're like, "Can you draw naked people doing like suggestive poses and stuff? Can you draw like items, like the items people have in their bedrooms?" I'm like, no. One, I'm a minor, and two, I'm not comfortable with drawing that kind of art for people. And so, yeah, I've had a lot of those kinds of people's contact me, and it makes me so mad and so frustrated. So yeah, um thanks for watching my video, and a video especially where I rant about not liking drawing in other people's art styles, yet I am drawing in the P and S WG style. So yeah, because, we got to celebrate season 2 coming up at some point. So, yeah. Um Also, I've had this on my mind for a long time that I wanted to draw in this style and make this kind of video. So, yeah, if y'all enjoyed, let me know. So I'll try to get back to animation memes pretty soon. But yeah, thanks for watching. Bye.